What's going on, Nerd Army guys? Welcome to the newest episode of Exploring Comics. Today, guys, we are going to be focusing on one of these badass characters that I love to talk about. And now that is Lobo. Now, if you guys don't know who this guy is, Lobo is a badass mercenary in the DC universe, and he's one of those guys that makes even the baddest motherfuckers shaking their boots. So let's get right into the history of Lobo. Here we go. Now, Lobo would make his first appearance in Omega Men number 3. He was originally a villain in the Omega Men series, but he actually snuck on the ship, the Omega Men ship. He got on there. When he got on the ship, he kidnapped Callista, who was actually in possession of the codes to the planetary defense system. But eventually, he would be retconned in the 90s and brought into the future, and he was actually turned into a pretty much a badass in the 90s. In this new version of Lobo, he actually became much more of a badass. He became much more of an anti-hero rather than a villain. Now, Lobo is the last of his race. Completely. And we know that because Lobo actually physically obliterated the rest of his planet. Everyone else in his race. Savage. Now, he didn't walk around and literally slap everyone to death and kill everyone. No, what he did was way more fucked up. He actually plagued the entire planet with a plague of flying scorpions and killed everyone. He did this so that way when he ventured out into the universe, he would be 100% unique. No one else could be like him. Now, he would go on from this and become a bounty hunter. Now, not just a regular bounty hunter, he would become the most feared bounty hunter in the universe. Now, eventually, Lobo would discover that he is not the last Zarnian. He is not the last one to survive because there is one more. He would find out that there is one more Zarnian alive, and that would be his 4th grade teacher, Miss Trigg. Now, his new job he was hired for was to protect Miss Trigg, protect this woman. So he was not allowed to harm her, and this just pissed him off because she knew how to rub him the wrong way. Now, when the two of them began their journey, there was actually a moment where she had pissed him off so bad they had stopped at a truck stop to fill up, and basically they were at a space truck stop and she happened to fucking piss off a bunch of space truckers, forcing Lobo to jump in there and defend her and kill all these space truckers that were trying to kill her. Which this personally just destroyed him because he hates this bitch so much, but his job is to protect her and now he's murdering people for her. And that's not cool. Not with him. Now, he would do what he was supposed to do. He would protect her. He was very, very diligent about finishing his missions. And he would protect her, even though it ate him up inside, because he wanted to strangle the life out of her himself. Now, this would lead Lobo to be chased by angry space truckers all around the universe. And also, at this time, he was also being chased by the Alliance of the Elderly, because they wanted to get their member back and set her free. So Miss Trigg actually does sneak away from Lobo at one point in time, which is really funny. She sneaks away to go to a violent opera where Lobo shows up, catches her in the act of going to this violent opera and sneaking away from him, gets her back, but to ensure that she cannot get away from him again, he has her legs chopped off. He chops her legs off knowing that she is a Zarnian and their healing factor will kick in and eventually her legs will grow back. So he chops her legs off and now she's just a stump. He would deliver Miss Trigg to where he was supposed to. He was thanked for delivering her. And he turns around, okay, now my job's complete. Turns around and snaps Miss Trigg's neck himself. Bitch is dead. But his record's upheld because his delivery was complete. Now, Lobo doesn't just have the looks. He actually has superhuman strength, healing factor, and super durability. He is insanely strong and probably has one of the worst tempers in the DC universe. So Lobo also has an amazing sense of smell. He can actually smell so strongly and has such an intense sense of smell that he can actually smell things and track people across the universe. That's freaking insane. So at one point in time, Lobo was actually killed and he went to hell. But eventually he was kicked out of hell because he was way too much for all the demons to handle. After being kicked out of hell, they actually tried to send him to heaven and he was kicked out of there too. So fuck it, it's an eternity of being banished from the afterlife. Screw that, you can't die. Cool. This ultimately does leave him pretty much immortal. That's pretty awesome. But he does ride through the universe on his space chopper named Space Frag 666. So That's pretty sick. Now, guys, I've been a big fan of Lobo for a long time, but in the New 52 in 2011, they did reboot Lobo in the New 52, and I've got to say, personally, I wasn't into the character. Some people did like him, and that's more power to you, but me personally, I was not a big fan. But that is a whole nother character for a whole nother video, guys. So, what did you guys think about Lobo? Let me know down in the comments down below. If you guys have any characters you'd like to see me do a Exploring Comics episode on, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll get to them as soon as I can, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can keep up with all the videos we put out every week. And I hope to see you guys next time right here on Nerds Morais for another episode of Exploring Comics. All right, guys. Peace out.